video games as a whole and as a medium. What I mean by medium is treating video games like a movie or a book. So if I play Skyrim, I can think of Skyrim as Lord of the Rings or Dark Souls. If I watch Lord of the Rings and I understand the story and I understand the world building, it's no different than me playing a video game and just exploring, meeting people and talking and doing other things and beating the game. To get started off, I kind of want to talk about the stereotype. There's a stereotype said in the Joe Rogan podcast where he said video games were a waste of time, and I am not disagreeing with this because I believe it's true. But it really depends on how you apply yourself in games and how you understand what you're really in front of and what you're really playing. If you play games like Grand Theft Auto and NBA 2K, they're basically fantasizations and remakes of the real world, and so you can go outside and play basketball, or I could go on my Xbox and play as Shaquille O'Neal. Why wouldn't I want to do that? It's more fun. Or why would I want to go drive my car where I can go in GTA and go drive a Ferrari and crash it and blow stuff up? It's more fun. But I think that's what he means by waste of time, is because you're not doing anything productive. If you go into games like Minecraft, Minecraft and Terraria are great examples, because you really have to learn and you really have to build. Dark Souls is another example, because you have to learn how to fight, you have to learn patterns, you have to learn how to explore, you have to learn how to crawl in the dungeons, and you have to grow and learn to understand these games and beat them. They're fun to beat. You have to play games with value in them. You can't play Grand Theft Auto because it's fun and it's fun doing the story, but you're not really doing anything. You're not really getting anything done. Another argument that I have for saying it's a waste of time is you could play Skyrim and do all these things and do all these missions, but what does that really value to? But it also applies if I watch a Harry Potter movie. If I understand it and I understand the story, because it's great. Harry Potter is incredible. If I watch it and I understand the story, it's no different than playing a video game and just understanding the story as a whole. Even though it can be seen as a waste of time, you could be doing something better. It's still good to sit down and play something and let your mind ease and do things that you like. You have a lot of time in the day. You can go to the gym. You can do a lot of things in the day if you really put your time to it. But if you sit around and be lazy, you're going to waste time. So talking about like some of the top games ever, I mean, Minecraft's the #1 game of all time, and Grand Theft Auto falls at second. Wii Sports is 4, and PUBG is 5, which is a weird statistic. I think if you focus on games, in the top 33 games, 33 is Breath of the Wild, the Zelda games, Skyrim, Terraria, Pokemon, Mario, Portal, Half-Life. All these games are valuable games that have story building, have character development, have things you can go in and actually learn and understand, compared to games like FIFA and 2K. So the 3 books I read Video Games Are an Art Form by Grant Treviner. This kind of backs up my understanding of looking at a game as an art. I think Dark Souls is one of my favorite games of all time, and so while I play the game, really I do catch myself walking around and looking at the world building, the castle building, and all the effort that really got put into what they're creating, because it's absolutely incredible. I like to create art, and as you can see in the back there's art, and so whenever I create art, it's kind of your mind creating a print onto the screen, and so you can see the developers and the minds that went into in the world building and the things that they chose. It's very interesting and it's fun to learn, and you can base it on your own art and the things that you want to do. The second book I read was Video Games as a Process of Critical Thinking by Gonzalo Fresca. Video games as a form of critical thinking is completely applicable. This also involves games like 2K and GTA, because you really do have to think and understand what's going on as long as you do. If you play a video game mindlessly and don't do anything, like if you play Minecraft mindlessly, you're not doing anything, you're wasting time. But if you really sit down and understand what's going on, make an effort, make something look good, create something cool, like you can create redstone, which is the same properties as electricity in the real world, everything with pistons. There's a lot of things that you can really sit down and practice and grow your mind from, but it's the deliberate decision to do that. The last book I read was What Kids Learn That Are Positive Towards Video Games by Mark Brzezinski, and he basically goes through the who, what, wheres, and whys of video games, and how, in his understanding of video games as a medium, and through reading these, learning that there's other people with the same understanding, other people who understand what's going on, kind of helps me just realize it really is the single-handed deliberate decision to understand the game, understand the art piece, and understand what's going on. If you go to draw something and you draw something dumb and you don't care and you just scribble, it's not going to do anything. And if you play a video game with the same manner, you're not going to do anything. If you go to the gym and you just throw weights around just to do it, you're not doing anything. But if you really isolate the muscle and focus, you can really learn and you can really grow if you really focus and you really care. The same thing applies to video games. Thank you.